we are excited to have a guest host coming up with us who will be doing some introductions, but I want to give her just a few minutes to talk about herself. So let me introduce our guest host who will introduce other people. This is Ella, and we met Ella in May with her sister, and they created some amazing things, I think, with recycling. Am I correct on that, Ella?
Yes, you are.
And you took part in our student, excuse me, our student host challenge, and you were one of the winners.
Yeah.
Congratulations. So before you start your official host duty and get paid all the money that we're really not paying you, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll let you start the top of the hour.
Okay, sounds good. So I'm Ella Bard. I'm going into 8th grade and I live in Wadsworth, Ohio. And I have a really big passion for recycling, and that's why I invented the Recycle Buddy. I'm also a yoga instructor and an athlete. I take part in soccer, basketball, and lacrosse.
And you're 27?
I'm 13.
13. Well, you're very eloquent in your speech, but I know that there's more to you than just the way you talk. We've seen what you can do. So Global Innovation Field Trip is proud to introduce at the top of the hour our first student guest host, Ella Bard. And Ella, I'm going to turn it over to you and you can introduce our next speaker.
Okay, sounds good. So our next speaker is Daisha Jones, and she's going to talk to us about STEM Challenge number 1.
I am going to do that. So if you will give me just a moment, I'm going to share my screen. I practiced with Jake, so I should be pretty good at this. So I'm sharing my screen now.
Ms. Host, Ella, why don't you read the introduction? Do you have that?
Yes. So Daisha wears many hats, but they're all exciting, fun, and educational. She engages, inspires, expects, and informs. LLC, social media director, global innovation field trip, and National Parks Expedition Challenge, and beyond, 7/2, high adventure STEM is all the things that she takes part in.
Thank you. I hope I live up to that. Well,
Daisha,
we have today.
Daisha, you couldn't have said that any better than it was great.
Ella, you're hired. So this is our first on-demand challenge. Excuse me, during this this trip that we're on. So go ahead and look. If you are just getting on the website, just collect some materials. Now, you don't have to have all of these things. I picked up some Legos when I came into Tucker's room because I stepped on them. So I'm going to be using several things, and I'll show you in just a moment. But these are the things that we want you to start grabbing from around the house so that you can participate in our first on-demand STEM challenge. We know adults love to play games. We have sports, which Ella mentioned she's part of. We, as a young child, I played checkers, Candyland, and Parchee. Those games, cards, darts. As I've grown, I've
Dr. Drizzle, your sound, I don't know about other people, but I'm having a lot of trouble with the sound. Ella, Carmine,
Yeah.
are you having trouble too?
I'm having trouble. I can't hear her. She breaks
Yeah.
out.
I read lips, so I knew what she was saying.
Dr. Drizzle, your sound went off. We don't
Still
hear
off.
you. Nothing. Well, Ella, this is what happens in a live broadcast. Okay? So welcome to the real world. Now, at this point, we would turn this over to the host, and you might sing a song or tell some jokes or do something. We have to fill up the dead period, okay? So we can't have that happen. So we need to talk more, okay?
Okay.
So you went on vacation, right?
Yes, I did.
Where did you go?
So we took an RV and we went to 6 different states. We went to Michigan, Arkansas, Missouri, Indiana, and Illinois. And we went around and we went to Ozarks, Sleeping Bear Dunes, which was definitely one of my favorites. We went to Indiana Dunes. And it was beautiful, and everything there was magnificent to see, and it was a great adventure.
Wow, I'm so glad you came back. Dr. Drizzle, we still don't hear you. No voice. No voice at all.
And in some cases, you know, Jake, that would be good.
I didn't say that. Okay.
Hey, Ella, how did you get yourself into this mess? Like, how did Jake get you on the show?
She volunteered. So Ella, you told us you're 13, right?
Yes.
So I know this is, you probably get this question all the time from adults. And the reason we're doing it is we're not being snoopy. It's just that we are so jealous of young people because you have your whole life in front of you and all these wonderful things you can do. And we want to try and live our sad lives through your exciting life. And so the question that I'm sure you get all the time is, and what are you thinking about doing when you grow up?
So I have an extremely strong passion for sports, specifically soccer, and I am currently playing with an elite team, International Soccer Club, and I also play for the Olympic Development Program, and I'm wanting to lead my career to play professionally in the future because I love the game, and I just have so much fun playing it.
Wow. Maybe, Carmine, maybe we should get her autograph now while it's cheap.
That may be a good idea.
Maybe it's already too late to get it while it's cheap. I should have done it before. Oh, right.
Hey, Ella, do you have any inventions in the soccer realm you're thinking about?
I haven't really thought a lot about that yet because I have like more of my inventions are based off of like helping like for example, like elderlies or like with the Recycle Buddies, shorter people and stuff. And like my next invention thought would be to create a better handicap shower because when me and my mom were in Tampa for a soccer tournament, it was a mess. Water was all over the ground, and we just thought, how hard would it be for the elderlies and the handicapped to have to clean that all up when it's already difficult to shower?
Yeah, I totally agree. That's awesome that you notice that stuff. A lot of people would just go on. Everyone is so busy in their daily lives that for you and your mom when you're traveling and stuff to notice that, and that's what shows. Now you had a soccer tournament here in Tampa because I live in Tampa.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my office here is in Clearwater. Where did you guys stay in the Clearwater area, or did you have to stay with the team?
Yeah, we stayed more around Tampa Bay, but we did actually travel up to Clearwater, and it was beautiful.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
Ella, I just got a message that Dr. Drizzle thinks she's back online. So why don't you reintroduce her quickly?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Okay.
So
Okay.
Ella, it's your ball. It's your game.
Okay. So now we have Daisha Jones, and she is going to talk to us about STEM Challenge #1. So Daisha wears many hats, but they're all exciting, fun, and educational. Engage, inspire, expect, inform. And she takes part in the LLC, Social Media Director, Global Innovation Field Trip, National Parks Expedition Challenge, and Beyond 7-2 High Adventure STEM. So go ahead and take it away, Daisha.
I'm going to try this again. I'm sharing my screen. Can you still hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so again, we're just going to talk real quickly. I'm going to get to the point where I needed to be. These are the materials that we want you to try together as we work through this first STEM challenge on games. We know that the Global UN Sustainability Challenges has 17 goals that they want us to try to solve before the year 2030. And if we do not solve these different challenges, our world is going to be in a lot of trouble. Now, looking at these 17 goals, that is pretty overwhelming. But for this first STEM challenge, we're going to talk about goal number 3, which is good health and well-being. I want to again tell you that these are the challenge materials we're going to use. Good health and well-being. And I want to introduce you to a friend and see if you can hear this. Would you give me a thumbs up when you can hear him speak? Not there.
That is the sound that all of us hate, the back to class bell. After a good time at recess, it's time for all the kids to go back inside to learn again. But what if we were already in one of the best places to learn? A place that's a safe environment, has clean air, good lighting, and lots of space. A place that allows us to become creative, critical thinkers. Exactly the skills we need for the future. Sounds like the perfect classroom, doesn't it? Well, outdoor unstructured play can do just that. It can give us better academic performance, it can help us develop problem-solving skills, and of course, it keeps us healthy. Let me share a personal story with you. This is a stick. Or is it? When I was in first grade, my friends and I pretended that this was a key that could unlock another dimension, galaxy, or even a secret underground spy base. Recess wasn't just a break from class, it was a doorway to a whole other world, a world where we created our own language, planets, and aircraft to transport you through the inky darkness of space. Onashima Jimashi Forimak. That means look out for that spaceship in our secret language. The key was inserted into a tree stump, which is a special lock made by aliens. Unfortunately, our play area got torn down, so I'm still looking for another good stop. But why am I even telling you this story? The average kid gets about 30 minutes of outdoor play every day. Yet that's only if recess is on time, and if it isn't canceled by bad weather. That's about half as much as 20 years ago. But why does this even matter? According to NPR Ed, when it comes to brain development, time in the classroom is actually less important than time on the playground. A recent study by Charles Hillman has shown that kids who are physically fit tend to do better in school than their fellow classmates, math especially. In fact, countries that have more recess actually perform better academically than where recess is less. Isn't that interesting? Outdoor play means that there are no rules, no coaches, no umpires, and no rule books to decide what we have to do and what game we have to play. We create, we innovate, we cooperate, we decide what to do. We have fun doing it. We decide what this is. A car, a plane, a key, or just a stick. According to one researcher, outdoor unstructured play helps us develop problem-solving skills. We actually have fun learning. Amazing, isn't it? Let's talk a little more about the benefits of being outside. Clearly, exercise is beneficial for our mental and physical development. Making sure this happens outside has even more benefits. In fact, according to the book, Last Child in the Woods, adults too seem to benefit from recess in natural settings. Joggers who exercised in natural green settings felt more restored, less anxious, angry, and depressed than people who exercised inside. This seems to be true for children as well. The need to be outside doesn't diminish after elementary school. One survey found only 10% of American teens spend time outside every day, and yet nature can improve creativity by 50%. So think about that the next time you get a massive pile of homework. Make sure you do at least a pound of it outside. Want better academic performance? Get outside, climb a tree. We can weather the weather.
So I love Brody. I love what he talks about. Thanks. Give me a thumbs up again if you can hear me. I don't want to keep talking if I'm not there. Great. So this is our challenge. During this season at home, we've all learned how to make better use of our time. We've been creative, we've been resourceful, but I know that many of us have been a little bit bored. And I can raise my hand to say that I've been bored sometimes. So using the UN Sustainability Challenge Goal 3 that says we need to promote good health and well-being, I want us to create something with some materials that we have at our fingertips. So I am going to unshare my screen, and I'm going to change my view of my camera. So you should be able to see down here with my hands. So I'm going to bring over some material. So those of you that are participating on YouTube or participating at home, bring those materials over. I found some straws. I found an old library card, a bell, 2 pieces of cardboard that I brought or tore off of an Amazon box. I also found some tea lights, a rubber band, a binder clip. I took this little rubber ball from Oliver's room, shh, don't tell him, a ping pong ball, and then a various assortment of Legos, paper clips, a Sharpie, etc. So what I'm going to try to create, and I want you to create this also, is to create a game, a very small handheld game that we could use to teach to a younger child. So Ella, your sister is coming on, she came on last time. How old is she?
She's 11.
So she's a little bit younger than you, but do you have neighbors or friends that have younger siblings?
Yeah, I actually have 2 other younger siblings. I have a 9-year-old and a 6-year-old.
So if I were going to use something like this little piece of Lego, what would I need to be thinking about if I were going to give it to a 6-year-old or under?
You need to think about them swallowing it and potentially choking.
Right. So as I'm building my game, as I'm cutting cardboard, I have to make sure that what I'm building can be used in a safe way. So I've got some tape here, and I think I'm going to use this binder ring and tape it here. Now, whatever you're doing at home right now, you keep doing that because I want to see everybody's invention. So, whoops, hang on, I dropped it on the floor. I'm coming back. So if I were to attach this little ring here, Ella, what would be a game that you think someone could play with this ring attached to this cardboard?
I see it as a little basketball game.
A little basketball goal. And knowing that I took the little ball from Oliver's room, I possibly could use that. Now that one's too big, but I have a little pink one that he could drop in there so many times. I would have to do something to sturdy up this cardboard. So do you have any ideas for that? Ella?
You could, you could clip it together and then somehow get it, you can maybe use the tape too to the table.
Okay. So that's a good idea. So I'm going to take her advice right now and tape. I'm going to use this tape. And then I think I'll tape it from the back so it'll look neater. Move this out of the way. And you're right, Ella, having that one piece of tape actually gave it a little bit of sturdiness. Yes. And I used your idea with the binder clip, and that's how I'm going to get this to stay on because tape wasn't working. So there's a couple things that they could do. They could just drop it in there. But what would elevate the skill level of this? Instead of just walking it over and dropping it in there, what else could I do? Let's think about this. That would allow the ball to go in, but would bring the skill level up.
I think you could do a specific distance, or you could go behind it, like or like below your table, and just try and throw it in backwards.
Absolutely. And I also thought, Ella, that we could make it be where the first time you did it, you would have to bounce it once to get in. And as you got proficient in that, you would keep the bounces moving up. Now, I also need somebody to tell me, yay, good job, when I do this, but there's not always going to be someone around. So I found this little bell, and I thought that if I were to tape the bell onto, I don't know, this little hoop, how would this bell give me some satisfaction, Ella?
So every time that you would make it into the basket, it would shake the bell and make it ring.
It would, and that would remind me maybe of a carnival game. Now, there is something else that could be used, and it's one of these little tea lights. I bet you've seen these before, but I got these at the Dollar Tree, and they actually do turn on. They have a little LED in them. I thought if we wanted to do like an outdoor night game, that I could attach these here to give it a little bit of light. The other two things I want to see if we can incorporate in this, Ella, is I have some Legos. I have quite a few of these, and I also have some straws. Can you brainstorm with me how I could use these materials to add another layer to this game?
I was thinking, oh wait, you're off your screen.
There.
Oh, yep. You could somehow get, I was thinking for the straw, maybe use as like a little obstacle in front of the basketball to make it even more challenging, because you have to like pass the obstacle to get it in the basket.
Very cool. And I think that that would be a perfect idea because I have quite a few, like a whole container of these Legos. And I also have these wheels. And it reminds me a little bit of our last person. Her name was Lily. She is a ninja warrior competitor on the junior level. So I know they use these different things to build an obstacle course. And then maybe we could use the straw to blow the ball around before then we picked it up and made and dropped it in there. So let me pull my camera back to just me. And basically, Ella, you and I just created a very inexpensive, recyclable game that might keep a 6-year-old occupied for 3 minutes or so. Probably a little bit more, but we know sometimes they need a lot of extra attention, right? So how do you think this could be useful for kids that are home during this quarantine time? What could this do? What could they do to use materials like this to build a game? Can you think of what you could do at your house?
Yeah, so we did something similar like this. We took things from nature and we made a gnome garden. And so you can be very creative with what you find, and you can find stuff that you don't really use as much, like something that you've gotten but you just never really used it, and you could use that and be creative and reuse to make something fun and enjoyable to play.
I love that. And we know that we have the 3 R's, and I know you're pretty passionate about that. But it's not always about recycling. It's a lot of times about reusing, using things for different purposes. And so we call that upcycling or repurposing things. Now, I'm going to give you another scenario and see how you're with this. Let's say that you and 10 of your best buddies all create a game, but you want to play them virtually with all 10 people at the same time. Can you think of a way that could happen? Remember, we can't be near each other right now, so.
So if everybody, I was thinking like if everybody made their own of the specific game, for example, like your basketball game, they could all use it and maybe like a timer or something, and each person goes through at the same time on what they're doing, like a Zoom, Google Meet, whatever, and whoever has the highest amount in the specific amount of time, then they win.
I love that idea. We are at home. We are doing things that, we can't be out in our schools right now or a big playground. So building our own recyclable games, solving a quick on-demand STEM challenge, trying to solve a goal like goal 3 from the UN Sustainability Challenges is a great way to help us use our brain, to keep us focused on something that's important, to keep us from being extremely bored, and then also to give us opportunity to share with each other. Now, have you used Zoom or Google Meet with your friends just to hang out?
Yeah, I have many times.
Many times. So can I give you a challenge?
Yes.
You put this STEM challenge, this Let's Play STEM challenge, to your friends in the next couple of weeks, and see if you guys can contribute a small game with instructions. We'll put it up on our website. So we want instructions on how to build it, and then instructions on how to play it, and maybe a photo of it, and we'll encourage kids around the world to also build their little portable games that other kids can play.
Sounds good.
You didn't realize that when you became a host of the Global Innovation Field Trip that you would first of all have to fill in while the current host had audio issues. You probably didn't realize that you were going to be creating the STEM challenge with me, and now you've just volunteered, you and 10 of your best buddies, to create something for our website. So good for you. For the other 2 hosts that are watching, be aware. We're going to do the same thing to you. We're going to give you lots and lots of different things that you have to do, okay? Ellie, your first hosting part was outstanding. You did not blink. You might be shaking from the chest down, but from the neck up, you were superb.